You think success is a mountain you climb through sheer force of will. That is the illusion sold to the 99.9%. If you rely on discipline, you are already losing because discipline is a depletable resource. True mastery, the kind held by the 0.01%, does not come from working harder. It comes from ontological engineering, the act of designing a reality where the right action is the path of least resistance. Here is the secret they never tell you. Success is not an outcome. It is the inevitable byproduct of a recursive feedback system, one at the paradox of goal-directed failure. Most people anchor their lives to outcomes, the destination. The expert anchors their life to systems of incremental calibration. The 99% view, I want to be a millionaire. This is a static snapshot of the future. The 0.01% view, I want to build a machine that turns X effort into Y growth, regardless of the market. The insight, goals focus on the what. Systems focus on the asterisk topology of your behavior. If you aim for a goal, you feel like a failure until you reach it. If you refine a system, you're winning every time you iterate. The top 0.01% understand that entropy is the natural state of your plans. A system is simply a thermodynamic engine designed to counteract that entropy. 2. The cognitive offloading principle. Human willpower is not a muscle. It is a bandwidth limitation. If you have to decide to work out, you have already wasted the energy required to do it. The experts do not use willpower. They use environmental determinism. They create choice architectures where the friction for the correct action is zero. Example, don't rely on the will to read books. Have a book on your pillow, a Kindle in your bag, and an Audible subscription in your car. When you remove the decision-making step, the if/then loop, you effectively automate your intellect. You aren't being productive. You are simply functioning according to the parameters you set. 3. Asymmetric compounding, the law of levers. Most people work linearly. 1 hour of work equals 1 unit of output. The 0.01% view work through the lens of asymmetric return. They prioritize the Pareto distribution of effort. They ask, what is the 1% of the input that generates 99% of the desired output? The philosophical shift. Most people treat all tasks as equally weighted. The master treats life as a series of leverage points. They spend 80% of their time building the lever, the system, so that the remaining 20% of their time can move the world with minimal effort. This is not laziness. It is optimal physics. For the recursive feedback loop, the black box approach, the rarest insight of all is the understanding of cybernetic control. In philosophy, this is akin to dialectic, the idea that truth emerges from the collision of opposites. The 0.01% treat their lives like a black box machine. 1. Input, daily actions. 2. Process, the system. 3. Output, results. 4. Feedback, the most important part. They don't get upset at bad results. They look at the output, compare it to the input, and adjust the internal machinery. They treat their own behavior as data. When you detach your ego from the failure, you turn the entire universe into a laboratory. You aren't failing. You're debugging the software of your own life. The synthesis. Success becomes easy only when you stop trying to push the rock up the hill and start building an infrastructure that rolls the rock for you. You must transition from being the laborer of your life to being the architect of your systems. When your habits are automated, your environment is optimized, and your feedback loops are objective, you reach a state where you're no longer working. You are simply a witness to your own inevitable success. Does your current daily routine function as a series of intentional inputs to a feedback machine, or is it a reactive response to the friction of your environment?